12:59, 12:29. We are live. So welcome everyone to Next Level Conversation. Level Up with the Akbar's Lunchtime Tea Talk. My name is Rachel Akbar. I am so grateful to be your amazing host. And then I have my host, Mr. Akbar. Mr. Akbar, good afternoon, sir.
Greetings to the world, and particularly you, Miss Rachel, my lovely wife.
Oh, you didn't even toast to me today. You just took a sip. Or
I
did
said
you
to my
toast?
lovely wife.
Oh, well, I think you have froze a little bit. Let me toast to you. This
Oh, okay.
great serenity tea today. So thank you.
Thank you,
Keeps
man.
you see how calm I am? Watch this.
So, so what are you doing? Equating calm with slow?
Yeah, I guess I was. So today we have a wonderful topic. We are back on family of the 5Fs, faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. I wanted to talk about family and community. And what I wanted to talk about was I brought up a few quotes about family. And I know, Mr. Akbar, you have a few things too that you want to introduce, but I just want to throw a couple out there so we could talk about it. Now, this is funny. I always try to pull things from famous individuals so people can relate. This is from George Burns. He says, happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close knit family in another city. I cracked up when I heard that. What's your thoughts about that, Mr. Akbar?
Close knit family in another city.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to work if you want to keep them close. Have them in another city.
So, do you think that was like a little hint of sarcasm, or just kind of like a or
It can be a little hint of sarcasm, but it's a poke at reality. You
okay?
know, sometimes like when your family come and visit and stay too long,
Yeah,
you hope they hurry up and go home.
yeah,
You still love them as family. You haven't lost the value of who they are in your relationship with them, but they just overstayed their welcome. Well, so it's like that. Just think of it: maintaining relationships, setting boundaries, and sometimes when you have family, that's close by, they tend to insert themselves into your agenda inadvertently. It's
hmm
not something, but just because of the relationship of family. So
okay,
that seemed to be some of the hallmarks, of having your family. What is it? Close from a distance.
yeah. It
It makes
said happiness is having a large, loving, caring, and close knit family in another city.
right.
Right.
And
So yeah, I think it still should be some boundaries, right? Because and my family know me. They know, for one, I don't stay anywhere long, and two, even if I come stay with you, I'm not gonna outstay my welcome because I don't even stay long. So I don't know if people get a hint, but I don't know. People do what they want to do. I think do people actually come from out of town and stay with you now, and they don't tell you how long they stand? They just come and say, "Hey, I'm here," and that's it. I've never really experienced that.
well, there is family that will move in with you without permission.
I
And
see.
so so situations happen, and people say, "Oh, that's my cousin," you know,
Yeah,
that's
right.
my brother. And so, what does that mean? You
Yeah.
see, it's like there's check and balance. See, people will remove your check and balances just under the auspices of being relative. Relatives believe whatever happens in their life, somehow you need to come and help them as a brother, sister, cousin, or whatever your guys' relationship is. It's expectation because of family dynamics, and how we've been introduced to the family relation. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I know your
Because that's what I think there's a drag in our audio.
Yeah, I think so too. Because a lot of times when you'll ask me something and I go to answer, then you talk over me, and you know me, I can't stand that.
Yeah,
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
yeah. It seems like it's a
Always,
drag.
yeah, and it just seems like your connection isn't that great. But I'm scared if I
Yeah.
restart it, it's gonna just turn. We'll just roll with it.
What?
Um,
Let's do what you just did when you was demonstrating calmness. Let's just slow it down a little bit, and so let our the drag catch up with us. All right. So let me ask you a question.
okay,
What does
okay, I was letting the drag catch up with me. Go ahead.
what does family mean to you?
Well, I don't want to say family mean to me. I'd rather read another quote because I think we've already talked about what family means to us. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. All right. Oh my goodness. That kind of question sometimes is, what does family mean to me? Family to me means having a close and loving, caring, close knit family in another city. No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Man, what does family mean to me? Family means to me individuals that I was born into their lineage. I can't choose them. I can't pick them. I can't change them. I can only learn how I can take care of myself and, have better engagements and interactions with them according to my growth and development. So I'll give you a quick example. I have a family member that stays in the past. I mean, it's something about this individual that they can be current and they can be in the moment, but I don't care what happens, they're going to be triggered with something that's going to take them right back to the past. And they bring up, remember this, remember that, and it's this person looks like that person, and it's always some past thing. That's not always a pleasure for me. It gets real boring, real old. I can't change that person. I can only change my engagement with it and also my reaction to it. I've learned that I've recently started to try to bring that person more current quicker, a lot quicker, and still validating because not only do they stay in the past a lot, but a lot of that is repetitious. Their conversation is repetitious. I've heard it before. I've heard it before. I've heard it before. So now I just try to get that person current a lot quicker than just elaborating more so in the past. Because for me, I don't always have great memories of the past. So, and I noticed that I have to be prepared as well when I'm with family, that past is going to be brought up, especially if
Mhm.
you haven't seen them for a long time. They're going to bring up, oh, remember this, remember that. And I don't know, I get anxiety sometimes when you want to remember stuff because where I was mentally and emotionally, I don't most times I didn't behave that well back then. So
Right.
if you want to bring it up, go ahead, but don't think that I'm going to engage and elaborate with you on it. I might nod and smile, nod and smile.
So give me a second. I just realized my computer's not plugged in.
What?
It's just going to plugs right here.
No, we was live, brother. Anyway,
Plug.
I just want to say
See
to the
that?
audience, that was quick, honey. I was talking to the audience. People that's been watching us, supporting us, commenting on our videos, commenting on our lunchtime tea talk. We really appreciate you. We would appreciate to have a lot more comments under those guys, those 5Fs, faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. If there's a topic that you want to have us talk about under one of those subtitles, then please let us know because we're happy to, go into it and share our thoughts and even bring you on as a guest if you want to talk about it. So my apologies, Mr. Akbar. I'm gonna let you bring up on it, but I have another quote. May I?
Sure.
All right. This one says, "You are born into your family, and your family is born into you. No returns, no exchanges." That's by Elizabeth Berg. So, with that being said, I remember my grandmother. Here I go. See how you can go back? I remember my grandmother saying, "I don't know what I did to deserve this family." She said that quite often. And I would just laugh because of what this says. There is no exchanges. And more so, the person that's saying that, you got some flaws and characteristics too that I can wonder how come I was born in the family with you. But I just chose to laugh it off because it was a lot less confrontational. What do you think about that, Mr. Akbar? You are born into your family, and your family is born into you. No returns, no exchanges.
Well, so that was an admirable, concept. And there's been a lot of things that's disrupted, particularly the African American family tree, in reference to our ancestors, because our ancestral tree used to be one that evolved to where information was transferred. You see, and we knew that we were going to be kings and queens. Why? Because our ancestors were, and the information was being communicated to the children, and they were being built up to believe in those principles. All of those ingredients that make up a king or a queen was given to us. But then there was an interruption, with the slave trade. So that disruption interfered with the family relationship with African Americans in America and in other parts of the world. And so now everybody can talk about, their ancestors, their language, and so we got limited relationships with that. But me and a friend of mine, we always we check in with one another, with a statement, "We all we got," as as a reminder, that this is what we're working with. You see, and we got to start building up from where we are, as a family, as a community, wherever we might be as a people. We got to start building up, so we can be recognized as the kings and queens that ancestrally transferred from one generation to the next. We would understand and appreciate the value of who we are. You see, but now it has to be restored. You see, those things have to be restored now. And so as adults, as people who are recognizing the value of family, it is our duty now to step in and step up and to make sure that the information that's being transferred and communicated may not be in the reflection of what you said your grandmama used to say to you. So when we say, how did I deserve this family? It's a positive. Am I even worthy to be here in that respect? You see, so we got to turn it all around. And that's our job. That's our duty. That's our responsibility now to turn it all around. You see, there has been some devastating effects, some negative language, some hurtful words, some concepts that didn't serve us. We know all of those things went into dehumanizing us and making us less than we think we're capable of. Why? Because now here we are in America, still trying to find a place after all the work, after the building up that we've done for this nation. We still trying to find our place. We're still trying to make sure that we get even civil rights. You see? And so, there's a lot to be had. So when you're talking about family in relationship to how I communicate with the outward world, we're talking about not just my internal family, Sangre Nation, but we're talking about now other people and our relationships with them in the community. We all become family. Why? United around common causes, united around common principles, united because we're going in the same direction. Family. You see, so how do you look at it? Just the bloodline or the broader community? So when you're talking to me about family, I don't just think about me and my sisters and brothers, me and my wife. When you're talking about family, you're talking about branching out because, my family can't be secure if I neglect the broader community. That makes sense?
It does. And saying this family slash community for this one, I know you had a few quotes that you wanted to elaborate on too before I say my last one. You want to go, Mr. Akbar?
If it's to be, it's up to me. And there's a gentleman that always says, money didn't come from my family, right? But I can bring money to my family. What do you think about that quote? You see?
Well, Dr. Sonia, she always mentions too that you might not have come from a millionaire family, but a millionaire family can come from you.
That's the concept.
I
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
that's
I love that. I think it's awesome. In regards to though, what you just made me flip when you said that. I thought we were, talking about community, but I'm gonna share with you what brought to mind when you said that. A lot of times when I'm talking to individuals on a financial standpoint, and I'm sitting down with families and I hear someone say, I'm not gonna leave my family nothing. I worked hard all my life. They need to work hard too. And didn't nobody leave me nothing. I ain't gonna leave them nothing. Oh, that hurts my heart when I hear that. Because again, that's that crab in the barrel syndrome. That's that uh, hate, self, and kind syndrome. So now you saying nobody left you nothing, so you're not gonna leave no one nothing. But even hearing you say that, you're perpetuating sadness, you're perpetuating low self-esteem, low self-worth. Because even hearing someone say that, when they say it, they're not saying it with glee, with a happy feeling. They're saying it almost resentful, sad, angry, aggression, did nobody leave me, then I ain't gonna leave nobody. And then all this other energy comes with it. So the thing is, if you're going to leave a legacy and you're going to teach people how to treat you, how do you do that in a family setting when nobody wants to give? I see that so much with our people too, as far as businesses. We want to go into business. We want to have a business, but scared that the person is either not going to keep up their end of the bargain, or they're going to mistreat us some way, or run off with the little proceeds that we never start. So we talking about community, family, and then I also came from someone in my family that also treated outside people better than they treated their own family. So it's like these dynamics need to be addressed first before we can move forward as a community, because I'm gonna tell you, trust is everything. And if I don't trust you, I don't trust you with my heart. I don't trust you to take care of me. I don't trust you with your decision making. And we talking about family, then it is a lot easier to connect more with a community, because there is really no sense of expectation involved with a community. Either it happens or it doesn't. But now with your family, you're going to have this relationship for the rest of your life moving forward. Whether you speak to that person or not, they're still a part of your family. So I know I kind of, you always take me there with your question.
No, I'm just understanding, the whole dynamics around how we got here. And so, that's important, and I mean, we're not exempt because of we in a immediate family relationship. I'm talking about historically, as a people, we
Hmm.
were stripped from some of the basic concepts, that other people hold high, and so the mere fact when you among a different ethnicity and they're talking about the ancestral tree in that space, it does something to me emotionally because I don't have that. You see, mine takes me to a dark place of slavery, and then in that moment, right? People thinking now that I'm coming with the poor me syndrome, but reality is simple, right? We have been disunified other people. Just thinking about this concept. Think about this. Skills are transferred. Wouldn't you agree?
I
Skills
do.
are
Definitely.
now. Think about this. In the time to keep the slave in their position as a slave, what was required? A whole lot of physical abuse, a whole lot of emotional abuse, a whole lot of dehumanizing, a whole lot of concepts and ideas through a social system, that relegated and denigrated people to think that they were only deserving of the treatment. So what ended up happening? Those skills were transferred from the slave owners to the slave. And then the slaves started mimicking what the slave owners had been doing. Why? Because they thought that was some symbol of power, some authority, some empowerment. And so we took it on. And so now when people talk about black on black crime as if somehow it's an anomaly, it's something that, no, transferred skills, generation to generation, just like I was talking about our ancestors used to give us those ingredients that made us, admire this fact of being a king, look forward to aspiring to that place. You're going to sit on all of those were transferred. And so now all of that other stuff from slavery has been transferred. And that's just the way it is. And so now internally, when we're talking about our family, we are not exempt. We have been affected by what the doctor said, DeGray, post-traumatic slave syndrome. We've been affected. And so until we start really recognizing and identifying what it is that triggers us to do what we do, we'll be still perpetuating that. It's almost an addict not identifying what their triggers are. And then they try to understand why they keep relapsing. You see, the same thing, the same type of dynamics is included in that. Why do people keep behaving the way they behaving? Because they don't identify what's triggering them to behave like that. So now you got a people perpetuate black on black violence, black on black crime, but there's another segment that's changing all of that. And it's people like you and I talking about it, having a conversation. We're leveling up. You see, we're not leveling down. And so that's the reality of where we are today. And, people don't like talking about our history because our history goes right to the credibility of the people that enslaved us. And they don't want to come to reality with their brutality and how human they were to be able to afflict such brutal treatment on another person and trying to make it a system of belief that they were not human beings. Well, suddenly now they treat animals very well. You see, they got what they got what the distinct where extinct laws for animals. What do they call that, extinction laws? They protect animals, because they're becoming extinct.
Yeah.
But we still fighting for civil rights.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Recently I just been, a part of my women's group, and we did a whole segment on white fragility, and also talking about how, white people want to explain almost their reasoning behind their mistreatment of us, so to speak, and even wanting us to explain to them the African American experience when, I shouldn't have to sit and explain to you how you've mistreated us, how you've talked to us, misused us, abused us, when it's all in the history books and it's still happening today. Just turn on your news. Don't have me sit and have to explain to you like this is the first you've ever heard of it. Because to me, you're getting some level of catharsis just hearing me have to, reaccount a lot of the abuse. I'm not going to do it. But that's another topic. So let's get back on.
It's all tied in the family.
It is.
And how the family system has been disrupted in ways that people attempt to ignore. You can't ignore the reality of what got us where we are. You see, and so I'm recognizing it. And until you can recognize and talk about it, you'll cover it up and pretend it don't exist. And so the reality is we need to get real about the brutality that enslaved the people and free ourselves from that because we've been covering it up. We've been acting like it was by some other reasoning, and those people now are all gone. No,
yeah, that's not true.
The skills have been transferred from generation to generation. There are people right now that they can't blatantly behave the way they once did, which are chaining us to a trout and beating us when they got ready. They can't do it like that, but they have people in positions.
Brother, listen, it's still being done. It's just not being televised. Just like that thing that happened with the Capitol. Those same type of people exist, and they hateful. They hateful and they mean and they out for blood because they don't like themselves. If you don't like yourself, you're going to hate any and everything that's nothing like you. So before we end today, Mr. Akbar, I want to read this. And I just really want your thoughts on it. We have about 5 minutes. In truth, a family is what you make it. It is made strong, not by number of head counted at the table, at the dinner table, but by the rituals you help family members create, by the memories you share, by the commitment of time, caring, and love you show to one another, and by the hopes for the future you have as individuals and as a unit. And that's by Marge Kennedy. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, my thoughts about, how family origin, starting from the immediate family, I think it's very important to just get in tune to what's age appropriate. And
Mm,
so we begin to nurture our children in the womb, you see, and we expose our children to what they're capable of learning while they're in those formative years.
hmm.
From infancy to 7 years old, man, their mind is wide open.
Yep.
But what do? We restrict them based on our current beliefs that came out of slavery, that came out of that old system of behavior, that old system of engagement. And so we tell them, don't touch that. And instead of exploring with them, what it is they want to touch. You see, we tell them, don't say nothing. I say, I come from that place. When adults, all of that, be quiet and, don't touch this, sit down. And
Kids need to be
it
seen, not heard.
it restricted my ability to be creative. And so I
Yep.
think now, in my position, I want children to be able to explore. I want children to be able to be creative. I want children to be able to voice their opinion, in a way where now they're analyzed, not criticized. They're communicated with, not talked to. You see, and so I think now when we start rearing our children, we start bringing them up, with this expansive type of behavior, attitude towards life. I think it'd be better in time. That's my thoughts on that, what you just read. So to you, my queen, I would like to make a toast to everything that is seen and unseen.
Mm.
What you believe, you can achieve. Don't limit your beliefs because you'll limit your achievements.
I received that. Ashe, Ashe, and so it is, brother. So listen, husband, we have 3 minutes left. And if you could just say a few words to wrap up this topic, family/community, and I'll do the same.
Well, I hope and pray that when we talk about reparations and making repairs and correction, it's not proportion, it's respected for what's just and what's acceptable. You see, and it's not a language that should be repelled. It's a language should be upheld. And I just want to say, God bless America.
God bless America. And what I'd like to say in regards to family and community and everything that we talked about today, I think it's important that each family member be held accountable and held accountable for how are you involved in this family unit? How are you giving to this family structure? Are you a taker? Are you a giver? Are you someone that's, open for the solutions, helping to make this family a better family? Or are you one of the complainers, one of the problem makers, one of the ones that are always negative and pulling against the grain, opposed to trying to build the family up? So, just like in our business, we have separation. We have the 80 percenters and the 20 percenters. You can ask yourself that with the family. And that's not that family can't get better and do better, but right now to evaluate, are you a strain? My grandmother used to say, are you a help or are you a hindrance to this family? Which one are you? To me, it's good to identify because then you know who to maybe focus on more that needs help in certain areas and who is doing well, that you make sure you uplift them and build them up so that they don't get drained and burned out because they're trying to compensate for the family that's slacking, so to speak. So again, big topic. Next week we will be talking about finance. My favorite F, one of them. Anyway, they are my favorite. We're going to talk about finance, and we're going to also talk about it in regards to juveniles. Finance and juveniles. So stay tuned to the next level conversation, Level Up with the Akbar Lunchtime Tea Talk. And we just want you all to have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of our community. And again, if you have any topics, if you want to come on as a guest, if you just want to give us a shout out about what we're doing, let us know. Is it being well received? We would love to hear it. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity. Peace.